iTunes. No, this ain't Raymond.
What's up, guys? You're watching RPadTV, and once again, Facebook ate itself, but I am fixing it. So in about 3 seconds, hopefully, we will be live on. Okay, here we go. Now we're cooking. What's up, guys? I'm Raymond. You're watching RPadTV, and today's episode is all about the Naked Gun reboot starring Liam Neeson. With me today is my excellent friend, Ray Carsillo.
What's up, Raymond? How's it going, buddy?
Good. For those of you who don't know, Ray, he is a veteran of the video game industry, an outstanding writer, an excellent up-and-coming comedian, and a wonderful, cool friend.
Well, thanks, buddy.
Yeah. How's your week going, man?
So far, so good. Overall, anyway, a couple ups and downs, but overall, I think we're in the positive. So,
all right.
Yeah.
Well, can't say the same about the Yankees.
Well, yeah, I haven't been able to say that for since the summer started, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Hopefully
On the plus side, the Mets suck too. So,
hey, there we go. All of New York baseball sucks. How about that? Yeah, both teams are sinking like stones.
It's bad.
It's terrible. They're terrible to watch.
But on the plus side, I think we both enjoyed The Naked Gun.
Yes.
I haven't talked to you too much about it, but just knowing you and knowing what we both like, I think this is a good movie for us. So why don't we kick things off? Why don't we go with a quick bite-sized review of The Naked Gun? How would you sum it up, Ray?
I think it is a wonderful reboot that pays terrific homage to the original. And I think that, if you enjoy the original's brand of comedy, I think that you will be pleasantly surprised by how much, especially in today's world, this one is able to follow in its footsteps.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I would say The Naked Gun pays tribute to the originals, but also adds a few of its own unique twists that fits into modern movies.
Yeah.
So before we get into the new Naked Gun, let's talk about the old ones first. I want to know what these movies meant to you and how they affected your expectations going into the reboot.
Well, I think those style of comedies, Naked Gun and Airplane and all of those, I think everything that Leslie Nielsen did, of course, in the later half of his comedic career, I think were integral to. I think there are two massive comedic influences in my life, and I think Leslie Nielsen and those movies were one of them, and I think the others were. You have to go even farther back to the black and white comedies of like the Abbott and Costello and Three Stooges era.
Oh, wow.
I think those are my two in terms of film. Those are my two like big comedic influences for sure. A lot of slapstick, a lot of puns, a lot of wordplay.
Oh yeah.
They don't do much for my stand-up, but in terms of like if I were ever to get a movie role, I'd want to be in a Naked Gun sort of movie, or make me shave my head, beat me curly from the Three Stooges. Those are the top two. So
those are fine roles for you both. I'm similar in that I love those Abrams Zucker movies. I saw Airplane way younger than I probably was supposed to, and it had a massive influence on my sense of humor and my sensibilities in general for non-humorous things. And Leslie Nielsen has just had such a wonderful career. He was a dramatic actor in his younger days, and a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people only know him for the funny, goofy comedies that he's so good at. But it was a cool reinvention.
Yes.
So,
that's the thing. It's. I mean, we'll get into it, but it's also it's common, kind of almost like same with now what Liam Neeson's doing a bit. But I mean, Leslie Nielsen was he was a good dramatic actor. He didn't have to go do comedy. He was very good. And you've seen this with a lot of guys over the years in Hollywood. John Lithgow comes to mind as well. Guys who later on in their careers. I think Kurtwood Smith did it as well, or took on more comedic roles as opposed to their the more hard ass and dramatic roles that they were known for earlier in their careers.
Yeah, that's an interesting conversation to have on its own. Like actors that have done a 180 later in their career. So that I can't think of anyone that has done it as well as Leslie Nielsen in terms of just being such an about face. But as you mentioned, there were several others. But your expectations going into this, were you scared? Were you excited?
I think that the trailer actually let me be cautiously optimistic.
Great trailer. Yeah.
Yes. I think the trailer, and I will say this, I was also very happy to see that the best jokes were not in the trailer. Yeah. That there were definitely a few more that I laughed more at. I will say that the trailer did spoil a couple of the good ones, but they do really stick to almost a joke a minute, and they really, really hit everything over and over again in a really great way. And it just, I was laughing almost the whole time, and it's a tremendous compliment to everyone involved. And I think that, again, the trailer helped me be cautiously optimistic going into this because it seemed from the get-go they had the tone just spot on. I
was scared until I saw the trailer because I hold these movies in such high regard. Yeah. And even though I think the world of Liam Neeson, I just wasn't sure. But then seeing just 2 minutes of it, I'm like, okay, I will enjoy this. Yes. I wasn't sure if I would enjoy it as much as the originals, but the trailer definitely hooked me, as did Akiva Schaffer's involvement. He is one of the guys on The Lonely Island, along with Andy Samberg and Jorma Taccone. Yeah. So I like him, although oddly, like I think the last thing I saw that was his specifically was like Rescue Rangers. So it's like from the team that brought you Rescue Rangers.
Well, like Milton Berle used to say, they can't all be pearls, right?
Yeah. So. Ooh, here's a great comment. Zach Moore says John C. Reilly is classically trained and a great dramatic actor, and also a musically trained actor.
Yes,
that is usually viewed as a comedic actor. Yeah, but he can. Yeah, that's really interesting because there are some roles like Cyrus, which is a small movie that he did with Jonah Hill and Marissa Tomei. That was more about his dramatic chops. But yeah, I think of John C. Reilly as the most hilarious sidekick ever.
Yes,
including Boogie Nights. Yeah, and Boogie Nights with Will Ferrell and that. Was that Kevin Costner baseball movie, For Love of the Game?
Yes, where he plays the catcher. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, yeah, I'm like, if there's ever a movie about me, I'd want my sidekick to be John C. Reilly.
Wouldn't we all want John C. Reilly? You know what? I'm going to go for, I will be his sidekick. I want to be his sidekick.
Yeah. So. But he's so good at it, though.
Yeah, he's hysterical.
So let's talk about the writing. As I mentioned, Akiva Schaffer was one of the writers, along with two guys from the Rescue Rangers, which I just think is funny. But as you mentioned, the pace, it's like more than a joke a minute. Sometimes it's really intense. But what did you think of the writing overall, Ray?
No, I thought the writing was great. I think, again, they kept the jokes coming. There was never really a lull. Some of the stuff you might have saw coming a little bit with the setups, but they did a great job of, again, really paying tribute to the original Naked Gun films and really having that tone and just the ridiculousness and the absurdity, and just everyone played it straight, and it was just perfectly. Yeah, I think they did a great job. Like I can't praise it enough. Again, it was especially, and by the way, for a film that was only 85 minutes, it would just had that old school film comedy vibe, and it nailed it. It really nailed it every step of the way. Like I really don't know what else I can say about it. Like, yeah, they did a great job.
It's funny about the runtime. When the credits started rolling, I looked at my watch. I'm like, wow. 2 hours, less than 2 hours with trailers.
Yeah.
And this happened in movies anymore.
Yeah. And I mean, that's the thing is like, I mean, I went to a screening, so I didn't even get any trailers. So I was like, I was in and out like, oh my God, it's amazing. I have my whole day ahead of me. My day's not ruined from the movies.
Yeah. Like I didn't even have the discomfort of wanting to pee.
Yeah, no, exactly. I barely finished my soda by the time it was, that's not true. I finished my soda in 30 seconds, but like, no, it was great. It flowed. It felt, it felt really good to watch. I mean, and I mean, from the very beginning, I knew we were okay, because once we got, because the trailer basically spoils like the first 90 seconds of the movie, which is fine. But like once we got a little just past that, and we see what they're trying to rob at the bank, and it's literally called the plot device.
Yes.
I'm like, I'm sold. I'm in. We're in for a fun 90 minutes. This is going to be great.
Yes. Zach Morris notes that 85 minutes is the exact length of the other Naked Gun movies.
I didn't realize.
Yeah. But I mean, that's also a more of a sign of the times too.
Yeah.
I think the first one was like 88 or something like that. And the other two were in the 90s, early 90s. Yeah. But at that point, we were not conditioned to 3-hour comic book movies. So that has become the norm for at least nerds like us.
Yes, and Lord of the Rings and 4-hour director cuts. And
Yeah, I guess it really was Lord of the Rings that kicked it off for at least our generation anyway.
Freaking Peter Jackson, you bum. Ugh.
So for the writing, I agree with everything you said. The pace was fantastic. They paid a lovely tribute to the original style while still doing their own thing. Yes. But I will be slightly critical, and I even feel bad doing it. But for me, the writing was maybe not quite as smart as the writing especially in the first movie. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't quite as committed to the silliness, like there was a commitment to the silliness that, just had everyone on board and with this totally ridiculous, nonsensical thing. And they were definitely like 80% of the way there, maybe 90, but it just fell short a little bit. And it's not, and I feel bad even saying that because it's hard to measure up.
Yes, for sure.
So for the writing, I thought it was not quite on par, but really close.
Yeah.
Zach Morris's biggest complaint was the lack of the police car through random places for the opening credits, although they did take care of that later.
Yes, they did do it for the closing credits at least. So I understand wanting to try to literally and figuratively blaze a new path to with the opening credits. Although even then I appreciated where they tried to do like they tried to do a more modern action feel with the open, and then they like the title goes on the screen, and then like you hear somebody go shit, and like because they ran out of room for the letters. Yeah, like it's just they found a way to be fun and original, and also they're lampooning also the modern action film in a lot of ways with this, so.
I love that gag with running out of space. It's such a silly little dumb thing, but I found it hilarious.
Yes, I agree.
So moving on to the directing, again, this was Akiva Schaffer. How do you think he did with setting the tone of the movie and the flow?
I mean, I think this might have actually been better than the writing. I think that the tone, again, the tone is set early, and they hammer it home repeatedly throughout, and they continue to they stay with it, right? The tone does not really unless it's for a big joke payoff, because there's one point where they go into a fantastical horror film almost, basically, where I feel like the tone, although still stays funny, it also like creeps. It also goes a little bit sideways there, I felt, and but overall, I thought it was very solid.
I agree with that. I thought the directing was also better than the writing, and I also think this was more. Where they did more original things with the style. Like you said, it added that horror element, but almost in general, I thought it added this whole like fantasy element to it with one of my favorite scenes that we'll talk about later, while still being silly. And then of course you had, since Liam Neeson inexplicably has become a massive action star starting in his 60s.
Yeah,
that's not something I had in my bingo card. So the action element in this is much different from the originals, which was all about silly action. But they still did silly action, but it was more highly choreographed and
it was a bit more modern.
Stuff. Yeah,
it was a bit more modern, right? Like, and they even I mean the whole gun clips akimbo scene was just they did a great job. And again, they paid tribute, but also carved their own path by lampooning a lot of the modern action and horror and comedy films that are also, they're contemporaries. So it wasn't just straight tribute. It was also, we're also going to make fun of everything that's around us. So,
And it also takes advantage of the actor they have with Liam Neeson, and more importantly, the stunt double he's been using for the last 15, 20 years.
Yes.
Who also, I think the guy that did his stunt double in this was also the same guy that he's worked with in all the Taken movies.
That makes 100% sense.
Yeah. Now that's an interest. I never saw Taken coming from miles away. Like I still think of Liam Neeson as the widowed dad in Love Actually or Oscar Schindler. But
sure.
Action star, I'm like, where did this come from and why is it good?
I mean, even Ra's al Ghul, like, I mean, in Batman Begins, like, it just, because he was actually, spoiler alert, 20-year-old movie. He was actually Ra's al Ghul in that film. So, but anyway, he starts as Henry Ducard. But
yes, I was just going to ask you, what was the stupid name they gave him?
Yes. Well, to be fair, Henry Ducard is a character in the comics.
Yes, that is
fair. So, I just need to point that out. So. They combined two characters into one in a weird way, but it sort of worked. Anyway, that's a whole different film and that's a whole different show.
And if you have any idea why Liam Neeson became a massive action star in his 60s, he's 73 now, I think.
Yeah.
But
yes. Yeah.
Usually you don't have an action peak when in your 60s, but we can only hope.
Yes.
Now, given what Akiva has done with this movie, Ray, has he changed in your rankings of the Lonely Island members?
Yeah, I think so. I think Akiva is solidly number 2. For me, I don't think he was ever. He was 2 more often than he was 3, right? But there were sometimes those rankings would change depending on like Rescue Rangers and certain other things that he might have done. But I think he's absolutely. I think he's, aside from Andy, he's definitely the second most household name now at this point for sure. I think.
Yeah. For me, I will disagree, and I mean we got to go with Andy first.
Andy's one, of course. Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
Not just for SNL, but Brooklyn Nine-Nine is one of my favorite shows.
100%.
But I'm sticking with Yorma as number 2, simply because The Land of the Lost is one of my favorite dumb movies. And Yorma plays Shaka in that one, so he has a special place in my heart for that. Although
we'll agree to disagree on this one. I'm going with Akiva now. So.
It's getting closer, though. It's getting closer. So before I want to talk about the actors and their performances, but before we get into that, Ray, can you give the people up there any updates on your comedy and anything else happening with you?
Yes. So September 6th, I will be back at Fourth Wall Comedy Cafe here in Thai-Town in Hollywood. And stay tuned. Nothing's official, but I may be taking my show on the road later this year. Yeah. So nothing's official, but stay tuned to the Instagram. I'll be definitely letting you know where and when and if I'll be coming to a city near you. But yeah, that's in the works. Discussions are being had. But nothing is solid, but that is on the docket. Hopefully, fingers crossed. I would really love for this to come together, but we'll see what happens. But for sure, September 6th, Fourth Wall Comedy Cafe in Thai-Town, 8 p.m. I believe that's a Saturday night. The 6th, I believe it's Friday or Saturday, but I believe the 6th is a Saturday. I'm going to check my calendar. Yes, I can confirm it is a Saturday. So there you go. At Fourth Wall Comedy Cafe. I think tickets are about $15 if you get them ahead of time. So
that's excellent.
And say you're there to see Ray. So, and I'll be doing 10 minutes of almost all new material. I have a whole bunch of new jokes written. So I'm really excited to be doing that at Fourth Wall. Fourth Wall is a great place to, it's a great little room, a great place to experiment. I don't know about experimentation, but it's definitely going to be new material. So.
Fantastic. And I hope when you do go on tour, I hope you make it to some of the Vegas clubs. There's a lot out here, and some of the smaller ones that are not on the strip need some love. So
gonna see what we can, see what happens, see what, again, there's talks being had, lots of talking, not much joke telling yet, but lots of talking. So
fantastic. So if you want to stay up with Ray's stand up, go to his Instagram. It is Ray Carsillo. Link is right below here, scrolling. And there's also a direct link in the Facebook and YouTube subscriptions. If you want to support RPadTV, there are many ways you can help. Of course, likes and subscriptions are always important. You want to pick up a shirt? We have RPadTV merch on Amazon.com. Just search for RPadTV. You can get one of these lovely shirts. We got the Certified Guapo. We have I Have Friends Everywhere. And we also have this lovely list of Filipino Americans with Joe Coy, Olivia Rodrigo, Haley Seinfeld, and me, Matt Pinfield. Wait, no, I am not Matt Pinfield. What was that? What was that show he did? I forgot what. And me, Matt Pinfield.
Yeah,
Something Club, Farm Club.
I can't remember. I'll always just remember him as an MTV VJ way back when. Way back when.
I was like, wow, MTV hired young Uncle Fester.
Yeah. People don't even know what a VJ is. People watching are like, what's a VJ? What?
Headbangers Ball. That's the name of the show.
There you go.
Zach Morris.
There you go.
He is a fan. Zach is a fan of all three of the Lonely Islanders. He loved Yorma and Hot Rod and on Parks and Rec. And that is also all very fair.
Forgot about Parks and Rec. Yes.
They are all fantastic guys. Now let's dive into the actors. Of course, we have to talk about Leslie Nielsen as Lieutenant Frank Drebin. Your thoughts on Frank, Ray?
Yeah, I mean, I think Liam did a really great job overall. I mean, like you said, he had the action chops already, so they were able to do a bit more with him than they might have done with Leslie way back when.
Yeah.
And I think that, you have this gravitas, you have this tremendous acting, and for him to have that background, and then again, he just played it straight the whole time, and just a wonderful way. And they put him in these insane situations, and he just committed to the bit the whole movie through. Although I think the few times that he showed emotion, I think were actually my favorite, when it was either with Pam Anderson or when the spirit of Leslie Nielsen showed up later as an owl.
Yes.
And he was like, "Thanks, Dad." Again, folks, you got to see the movie. You haven't, spoiler. But it's been out for a couple of weeks. But it's that moment, like, in particular, I think he just killed it, and I thought it was hysterical. And I feel that he was a wonderful heir apparent to Leslie Nielsen. I just hope that now, you mentioned earlier, he's 73 already. I hope they squeeze a couple more out of him, a couple more Naked Guns out of him, because I feel that I think he'd be up for it. I think it'd be great to see more than just one in this reboot. So
for sure. Like, I cannot think of a more perfect choice for this role than Liam Neeson. I mean, he obviously has the dramatic chops, and as you mentioned, he brings the action element that Leslie Nielsen didn't have, so they could do something more modern and different from the originals, and they absolutely did with that. I loved how he played off the silliness, where he did play it straight, but it was still, you can still see it there. Yeah. But I don't know how you describe it. Does he roll with it? Does it roll off him? But he just treated it so well that he just made the silliness sillier by not being silly.
He was like the eye of the storm, right?
Yeah, that's a great way to say it.
Yeah, like he was this stoic center of just craziness around him, and it just and sometimes we fear he was the cause of it. And he just kept on rolling on through. I thought that's how I would describe it. I think the eye of the hurricane, the eye of the comedy hurricane.
That's a fantastic way to describe it. Now, let us move on to the second lead, Pamela Anderson, who played Beth Davenport, the damsel in distress, but also budding author and also love interest. What did you think of Pam Anderson in this one?
I thought she was great. I think that she didn't have as many jokes. She much like the damsels in distress and female leads of the previous film. She kind of was a little bit more aware of the craziness, or at least played things a little bit more realistically. And then, of course, like when would react a little bit to Liam's absurdity or other people's absurdity. But she took the chair. She took a chair out and a few other things. And of course, when she, as you mentioned, she dresses up as her fictional character as an author. She has some really good moments there. But no, I thought she was great. I was surprised at how I was pleasantly. I think she was the biggest question mark, I think, for me going into this film in terms of the actors and actresses. And I felt like she did just as she was just as great as anybody else. She was on the level with everyone else, and her comedic chops came through in a surprisingly pleasant way. Particularly, I would say that this, the scene in the apartment with the dog and the heat ray vision and what.
So good.
Yeah, I mean, I laughed the hardest at that one. That whole scene was just phenomenal. And
Although very, very Austin Powers-ish, though,
yes,
not Naked Gun-ish.
100%. And there were a couple of moments where the comedy obviously borrowed from other elements and other places, but still very, very funny. And yeah, I thought she was great.
I would have had similar concerns if I did not see The Last Showgirl, which is a small budget movie she did last year.
Yeah, heard of it, have not seen it. So
I honestly didn't know she can act well until I saw that. I was really impressed with her in that. Because you think of Pamela Anderson, you think of Baywatch, or you think of her sex video with Tommy Lee. I think that's fair to say that most people think those things.
Yep.
But yeah, she's a really talented actor when she wants to be, and I love how she played it. Also playing it straight, but also being silly. I love the chair scene. I thought that was absolutely hilarious. I thought her jazz scatting scene in the club.
That was great too. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was so funny.
Yeah.
I did not expect that at all, but she totally killed that scene. And
yes, 100%.
I'm like, wow.
Yeah, and especially as that's the background for then Liam in the back getting into a bunch of fights and stuff.
Yeah.
Which was which
Also
I love the line of henchmen, please take a number sign. And he's just one punch, it was great.
That almost reminded me of that scene in Airplane where there's a line of people trying to calm down the hysterical lady, but then there's one guy with boxing gloves, an old woman with a gun. like that's not gonna work.
Yeah.
Zach Morris adds, Seth MacFarlane has some odd obsession with putting Liam in out of character roles like A Million Ways to Die in the West, and it works well. It absolutely does, but he has a particular set of skills.
And Seth MacFarlane is aware of them, all of them, right? Because of course Seth was producer on this, was lead producer.
Right.
So, and Fuzzy Door Productions, of course, which is his production company. So, I mean, Seth knows what he's doing. I'm always going to give something that Seth MacFarlane does at least the time of day, just because he's done so. He's knocked it out of the park more times than not. Right, we'll say. I mean, not everything obviously has been great, but he's done a lot well. I think I saw Collider the other day actually demanded that Seth MacFarlane now do a modern musical.
I'd love that.
I mean, he'd be the guy to do it, right? Like, I mean, he has the background, and he's done everything now from the Orville, which is obviously his take, his modern take on like a Star Trek type show, and obviously now. Obviously rejuvenating this franchise. He's done it all, really. And obviously Family Guy and American Dad and all the adult animation that he's done.
Yeah.
I mean, it's whatever he takes a crack at, you at least got to give him the benefit of the doubt.
He's also responsible for one of my favorite jokes ever in a movie, which oddly is in Ted 2. But the F. Scott Fitzgerald scene, they're like, his name is Fuck Scott Fitzgerald. that 2-minute scene just kills me every time. Like I could watch that endlessly.
Yeah.
Now, of course, every Naked Gun movie needs a good villain. And we've had some. The Naked Gun 2 had Ricardo Montalban. I thought he was fantastic.
Yeah.
The first Naked Gun, the villain wasn't quite as good, but the villain using Reggie Jackson, that is genius to me. But here we have Danny Houston playing Richard Kane. I am not terribly familiar with this actor, but the one movie I did see him in was that shitty Wolverine movie where they decided to sew Deadpool's mouth shut.
Yeah.
Which, you do with the merc with the mouth. You make him shut up.
Right.
God damn it. So, so I did not I have bad memories of that movie, but I liked him in
Yeah.
this one. How about you,
Yeah,
Ray?
he played a young striker there.
That's
Yeah,
right.
every time I've seen Danny Houston, he's a great character actor, right? I think he's always, and he does obviously a great job as as a villain. I think he has that that calm demeanor, but he's got that nefariousness to him. I thought he did a great job here. I think he really leaned into it. And I think obviously with the script and the plot device that was given to him, he again leaning into the modern action film, very Mission Impossible esque here, or maybe even a little bit James Bond villain esque essence to him here. And I thought he did a great job. I thought he was a terrific foil for Liam. I mean, I think the quote unquote fight scene at the end, I think, was also hysterical. Him and his henchmen, his cronies of C-suite executives who can't ride motorcycles. I think there was just a lot of great moments in him too, where he much like a good villain for the villains for Leslie, more aware of the insanity around them, and especially when Liam misunderstands words or anything and whatnot, and or takes them literally, I should say. And yeah, I thought he did a great job. I think everybody did a really fun job, and I think again he was a perfect foil for Liam here, and also what is it? Miss what was it? Fat slobbingly guy eating spaghetti.
Yes. Miss Spaghetti.
Miss Spaghetti. Every time he said that, I was like, that's hysterical. That was great. So
I almost got a feeling that he was almost going for like a Tim Curry vibe. Did you get that at all? Like that's how I was seeing it.
Now that you mention it, I could see that. Now that you mention it, I wasn't thinking that. Like, I was thinking more of he was trying to go for more of a some of the modern Bond villains, or some of the guys that Tom Cruise would go against in Mission Impossible. But like,
okay, I see that too as well.
Yeah.
But as almost like it reminded me of like Tim Curry and Charlie's Angels kind of thing. Wow.
That's a throwback. Yeah, no,
yeah.
Now you say that, I could see that for sure. But I think he did a good job of just embodying that general corporate supervillain, right? So
yes. So I forgot to flash Beth's screen, but we'll do that later. So there is old young Stryker.
Yeah.
And then here we have Pamela Anderson in her femme fatale damsel in distress outfit, I guess.
Yep. Right before she steals the chair.
Well, no, she didn't.
Well,
she
didn't.
Was offered.
It was offered. It was offered. That's fair. That's offered, and then she decided to take it.
Yes. He did say, "Would you like to have a seat?" No, thank you. Yeah. I have many chairs at home. I love that joke so much.
Yes.
So
yeah.
Funny.
Yeah.
I actually have one point, Ray, that I did not send in the initial rundown. But this is something. Why wasn't there more Paul Walter Hauser?
I agree.
He was underutilized.
I agree. I always think Paul Walter Hauser is underutilized. I think that unless he's the star, I thought he was phenomenal. I think that every scene that he added so much to every scene he was in, whether it was the car crash, CSI scene early in the film, or when he's beating up the children in the finale, like near finale. I thought it was hysterical. He was great. He was phenomenal.
Yeah. And I get that his dad Ed wasn't in the original movies a ton, but that's something they could have done a little different.
You could have rectified that, and also it would have helped Liam to have played against somebody who is more of a comedic actor. I think in general, like Paul Walter Hauser, also a guy of many talents, but has done at this point already now in his early 40s drama and comedy a fair amount, and balanced them both very well. So Stingray from Cobra Kai, and also the dude from The Luckiest Man in America. So. And
also, wasn't he nominated for things?
For Richard Jewell, I think, wasn't
it?
Right?
Right.
Yeah. So no, that's the thing. He has quite the resume, and of course he's also Mole Man in Fantastic Four now.
That's and I thought he killed it in that Like,
for the little bit of time he was on screen, I thought he was phenomenal. I thought he chewed up the scenery,
absolutely.
and I think that here too. Like, I don't think he outshined Liam or anybody
Right.
else, but I think that he was definitely again, he added so much to every scene he was in.
Completely 100% agreed with that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about recurring jokes, and there were a lot of them. You
Yeah.
mentioned the language ones before.
Yes.
The misunderstanding language, like the one in the trailer that everyone had seen, it says here you did 20 years for a man's laughter.
Yeah, that was a great one. Yes. Yes.
But what was your favorite recurring gag?
I think the coffee cups coming out of everywhere. Like,
Yeah.
literally just everywhere there. Yeah. Like anywhere and everywhere. Just big coffee, little coffee, multiple cups of coffee. Just,
Coffee while driving.
Coffee while driving. Coffee while like in the air. Coffee
Yes.
while like just if there is if he didn't have a cup of coffee, I feel like there had to have been a note given by Seth or Akiva that like if there's ever a moment where Liam doesn't have a cup of coffee in his hands, we have to put either has to have a gun, a woman, or a cup of coffee in his hands at all times.
I agree. I love that joke so much.
Yeah.
And I love that they were relentless with it.
Yes.
Really from, within the first 10 minutes of the movie, way up until the end.
Yes.
Because didn't he get coffee while he was riding the owl?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. In the air, he's getting a cup of coffee.
Yeah. So good. So we're in agreement there. But how about favorite scene? And there's so many to choose from.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you go with, Ray?
So the first couple that come to mind for me, I mean, obviously, again, we talked about the dog scene with the heat vision was just absolutely amazing and phenomenal. But for me, if to say something that we haven't said already, I laughed so hard for some reason about Beth accidentally deleting all of Buffy off of his TiVo, and that being like the rift in their relationship for a brief time, and just like him talking about Buffy season 3, about like the relationships with Spike and Angel and all of them, and just berating her about it. He's like, "What did I tell you? Don't connect it to the internet because it would try to find the shows and reset them, and now there's no Buffy." And I just thought that was great. I thought that was great.
Such a you talk about commitment to humor there. There's a lot of deep cuts in that few minutes of writing.
Yes.
Zach Moore says, I just don't like how they make fun of an older man with ideas.
That's another great one.
It's
another great one. Oh my God.
Yeah.
all the chili dogs. All the chili dogs was amazing. And then I loved it. From the body cam footage, because when you mentioned the man's laughter.
Yes. Oh wait, that was Busta Rhymes too.
Yes, Busta Rhymes had a cameo. I mean, it's kind of a cameo. It was like 3 lines. So
that was a fan. I'm going with the owl scene just because it was so absurd to have his dad's spirit come back in an owl that could somehow lift him in the air. Like use him as a hang glider.
Yes,
that was fantastic. And then he shits on the villain.
I was going to say to catch up to motorcycles. By the way,
Yes. And that's also a good one. The electric car scene I thought was hilarious.
That was fun. Yeah, that was a fun one. All the criminals who break out, places falling apart. Like that's just classic Naked Gun right there. Right?
Absolutely. And then when Beth's brother died, how they had the claw machine.
Yep.
Oh, that was so silly.
The car crash, the CSI, and then and you knew that car was gonna fall.
Yes,
you knew that car was gonna fall.
Wait for it.
Yep.
There it is.
Perfect.
I love these gags so much. They did.
Yeah.
Now here's the tough question, or maybe not. Let's see. Does the Naked Gun do enough to stand on its own, or is it a poor imitation of the originals? That was the big fear going into the movie for many fans. But what did you think?
Well, it's definitely not a poor imitation, right? Like I think it does enough. I'll say this: I think it does just enough to be able to stand on its own. I think because it does again lampoon a lot of modern action films and whatnot. If you want to call it an imitation, I can understand, but you can't call it a poor imitation for sure, because it was funny, it was great. I think they did a great job paying homage to everything. But I would say yes. I would lean towards yes, that it does do enough to stand on its own. And I think it is a great continuation / soft reboot of what the Naked Gun was for us growing up in the late 80s, early 90s.
I completely agree with you. And I just want to emphasize that it's such a hard line to ride. Like, you want to pay tribute. You want to keep fans of the older movies happy, but you also want to do your own thing. And I think Akiva and crew absolutely did that. They should be proud of themselves. I think the box office already has exceeded the third Naked Gun, and it has a chance to do even better. I think it's been out 2 weeks now or something.
2 weeks, yeah.
So hopefully it does better. Surprisingly, it's doing better than I thought it would internationally, because a lot of the dialogue jokes, they don't translate exactly to other markets. But there's also enough physical humor that's just universally funny. As Zach Morris mentioned, IBS jokes are just internationally funny.
Absolutely, for sure. Also, by the way, we mentioned Busta Rhymes and his cameo. How about Cody Rhodes as the bartender?
Cody Rhodes, I saw clips of that. Cody was great, although I do think his speech impediment does keep him from acting in long roles. I don't know.
I got plenty of Cody Rhodes there as the bartender. I thought that was fine. Yeah.
The Batista scene I did not expect at all, and I thought that was fantastic.
That was phenomenal. Yeah.
And I am not a fan of him as a person, but I think he's funny as an actor.
He's a great actor.
It was nice to see him do that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Zach says, one of my favorite things, aside from it being a Naked Gun movie, was listening to laughter. Yes, laughter built in a theater as people got the jokes at different times. Having that experience, that alone. Yes, I completely agree with you. And I was thinking about comedies that I've seen in theaters, which is the minority of films.
Yeah, they're few and far between nowadays. People don't want to take the risk on them.
Right. So I was thinking about the last time, because when I went, that was easily the most laughter I heard in a theater in a really long time.
Yeah.
And I was talking about a friend that I've seen a lot of movies with. And the one that we came back with was American Pie 2.
Oh, wow.
I think is that the one where they get the lake house for the summer?
Oh,
I think that's 2.
I think so. It's hard to keep them all straight at this point. Like,
so the thing where they're hiding, they're supposed to be painting the house for the summer, but then they go in the girl's house, and then was the you go, I go scene.
Right.
So that was the last time I heard that much laughter in a theater.
Yeah.
Zach Moore says for him, it was Step Brothers. So also worthy.
Yep. See, I didn't see Step Brothers in theaters. So yeah.
Johan says he hasn't been able to watch the movie yet, but I have high hopes for it. Both of us recommend it. Yeah.
Yes, 100%. You should go see it. You should go see it. You should take everybody to go see it. You should. This is worth the hour and a half. 100%.
So they're already talking about a sequel based on the box office numbers. They've talked to Liam. They've talked to Pam and Akiva. Do you want to see a sequel to this? And how would you change it up, or what would you like to see more of? Or
I 100% would want to see a sequel. I'm all for a sequel. 100. Yeah, I think I want to see Liam Neeson in this for at least 2 more movies. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to give him a trilogy. I think we talked about it with more Paul Walter Hauser.
Yeah,
I think in a sequel. I think I appreciated the police chief in this as well. By the way, for Police Squad.
Yes,
and all that, right. Like you could have. I don't know if you could have more
and her husband,
more or less. Yeah, and her husband who never talked, he was asleep always because
even while standing, that's great,
which was great. And by the way, and I also love in the bedroom and Liam basically being he's like, we're all rooting for you tomorrow, whatever your name is, I forget. He's like, we're proud of you. We know you're gonna get this promotion. Giving a pep talk while he's asleep. It just so much was so good. But yeah, no, absolutely. I think we need a sequel. Like, I think that first off, I think people need, and I hope that this doesn't just produce a sequel, but I hope that this produces more comedy in general in Hollywood. That people again get ready to take risks a little bit, but also realize like if you're smart. If you're smart with your comedy, people will pay money to go see a good comedy, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think that's the problem, and I can get into. I don't want to turn into go watch all what Mark Maron's been doing the last couple of weeks, and he'll explain to you what's wrong with all of comedy. which to be fair, I agree with him in like 99% of it. Like
same. Maron is the old man I want to grow up to be.
100%. Oh my God, yes. Like he's spot on. Like talking about like the death of taste and all this other stuff. Like this is proof. Like that if you can do comedy well now. 10 years ago, 20 years ago, and people will see it. People will laugh. People want to laugh. People need to laugh right now.
Yeah.
So please give us a sequel. Please.
A trilogy for me is greedy because he's 73 and he should do whatever the hell he wants to do.
Look, you can shoot them super fast back to back. Like we can bang out. I tell you right now, the way Hollywood works now, they can bang out 6 of these in 3 years.
Hollywood could, but again, does he want to?
Well, yes. Does Liam want to? Yeah, I know that's the question.
I definitely want more of this, and I hope everyone involved wants to do it too.
Yeah,
and a trilogy would be amazing.
Yeah, I think we need a trilogy.
But even it had me thinking about the other spoof movies of the time. Top Secret I think is wonderful. That never got a sequel, but how about rebooting that? That'd be fantastic.
Yeah, no, what was it? And it was Hot Shots and Hot Shots Part 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
Airplane, I'm almost afraid to touch.
I think you can just. That's special. That's particularly special.
And
so, Airplane did have a sequel though, didn't it?
It did. It was Airplane 2, the sequel.
Yeah,
but
right. The sequel.
I don't want them to reboot it. That's the most.
We're getting Spaceballs 2 finally.
That's true.
The Search for More Money. So
that's true. I don't even know who's alive from Airplane.
Yeah, not many. Yeah.
Johan loves Hot Shots. I also love Hot Shots. I mean, I can't think of anything Charlie Sheen did that was any better.
Yeah.
Wonder if Spaceballs 2 is going to hold up. It's hard to tell. I mean, Mel Brooks is still sharp, but I don't know about his stamina for directing a whole thing.
Yeah, he might need help from his kid, I think, to get this over the finish line. What was it, Max?
Yeah.
So like maybe something along those lines where but I mean, look, you got Josh Gad as the new Darth Helmet. I think I would love for them to bring Rick Moranis back in some capacity still though.
Yeah.
Right. Like, but yeah, I'm again, cautiously optimistic about that as well. Just because Mel Brooks is still around, please knock on wood, stay around for as long as you can. I'm reading his book, All About Me, his autobiography. It's great.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's great.
I started reading Norm Macdonald's autobiography, which turns out is a work of fiction because most of it is not true, which I think is such a hilarious Norm thing to do. Like, also, wait a minute, this is all bullshit.
Yeah. Real quick, did you stayed for the end credits for Naked Gun? Yes. With a couple of Easter egg scenes there. It was only one joke, but I also loved Weird Al there in the Easter egg at the end. I thought that was great.
But they even did.
Where is everybody?
Yeah. They even did jokes in the credits, like in the originals they had best boy grip. What the hell is a grip?
Yeah,
like they did jokes like that in the credits too, which again I appreciate so much.
Yes, 100%. Yeah.
But while you're still here, and since you brought it up, let's talk about Maron's special a little bit. I loved it. Yeah, I loved his last 2 specials. I really enjoyed the comedian he's become.
Yes,
he's still angry, not as angry as he was. No,
I think he's a bit resigned to the way the world is, but he's also still he's mad at that it is what it is, right? And I think again, he is one of the he's becoming another Carlin in a lot of ways. He's one of the smartest.
Yes.
He's one of the smartest comics, if not the smartest comic still working. Again, very sad that WTF pod, what the fuck pod is going away. But if it allows him to keep focusing on comedy here, then I'm all for it, because I feel like we need his voice more than ever. I love that he hates Matt Rife as much as I do. And not personally. I think that Marin said it in a way where he's like, crowd work is supposed to be a tool in a comics tool belt, not
your whole thing,
not the whole shtick.
Absolutely.
And of course, there are crowd work comics. Funny enough, you mentioned Jimmy Brogan at one time, who I have worked with. I've been on a show with Jimmy.
Oh, that's awesome.
It is. And Jimmy's a good dude. Don't get me wrong, Jimmy's a good dude. But he did vast majority crowd work. And for Marin and I kind of believe this as well. Crowd work is really crowd control. It's a tool for when you get some folks who are a little rowdy, or somebody does have a call out or something, and you can play off of it and give something organic. But so many people are just playing for TikTok and Instagram,
right?
And that the art of comedy itself is suffering. And look, I'm not all high and mighty, and I'm not I've been doing stand up for 13 months now, right? Something I've loved and always wanted to do and loved doing growing up, and have had a modicum, a minutia of success with it thus far. I'm not doing it for that, but I'm 100% in agreement with Marin that I don't know. I think it kind of cheapens everything when you're just kind of playing for the crowd reaction. And it's been talking about the death of taste, where it's just popularity automatically makes something good.
Right.
And that's not always the case.
Right. I mean, there are some modern comedians that mix it up well. Stavi was the first one that comes to mind. I like his comedy, but I also enjoy his crowd work too, where I want to see both. But for Marin's special, I loved his closer, the Taylor Swift joke.
Yes.
I thought that was fantastic.
Yeah, it cost him I think $50,000 to use the song, I think. Something like that. That's the story I heard.
But it works.
Yeah.
And but the Theo Von bit was so good.
Yeah, I mean, but he's spot on.
Hey, Hitler.
Yeah.
You and the Nazis did a lot of meth, right, Hitler?
Oh my God! Yeah. Well, again, this is what's great is what are they going to do? What are they going to do to him at this point? Right. Right. But he's spot on, right? In a lot of ways, that's why it's funny, is that it's true.
It is true. Theo Von seems like a good guy. And sometimes he does seem genuinely curious about learning more, but he's also a fucking moron, and he's a bad interviewer.
No, yeah, and I agree. And I think that's the thing, right? And I think that I also saw was that Anthony Jeselnik did an
big fan of him too.
Yes, and
we like the smart guys, don't we?
Yeah, what a concept, right? A couple of smart guys like other smart guys, But he talked. He obviously he also took his shots at the cancel culture, comedians, and all this other stuff.
Yes.
And also he also talking about what makes comedy. He brought up an interesting point where he was talking about he believes all of comedy is really at its base not necessarily rooted in truth, but in surprise.
Yeah.
It's in surprise. I think it's a little bit of both personally, but he talked about how it's the surprise of everything. It's even when it's coming, whether talk about the greats like Chris Farley and all them, the more modern comics, it's all based in a little bit of, and sometimes the surprise is just that you went there and you said the truth out loud, that everybody knew, everybody knows it, but the fact that you got on a stage in front of hundreds, maybe thousands of people, or recorded it for millions watching at home, that you had the gall to actually say it, and Mark's got that gall, so he's got that dog in him, dog.
I was curious to hear that when he goes on the road, he says he can't. He's not a stadium comedian, but even some of the bigger theaters, he has problems filling. He says he's like he does best in around like 800, 900 seats around there, which is, it seems so weird to me because he's been around forever. I mean, this guy did coke with Kinnison, so that's how far back he goes.
Another all-time great, lost too soon.
Yeah, but he's having problems filling 1,000 seats, whereas Bert Kreischer is doing stadiums for taking his shirt off, which I totally don't understand. Like, why?
And look, I like Bert. I like Bert a lot. But I mean, people are dumb.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like, I do think it's one of those things where I think also Bert wants to be your buddy, right?
Yeah.
Everybody wants to have a buddy. Everybody wants to have a friend. I want to be Bert's friend. Christ, if Bert Kreischer called me up right now, I'd run to his house and have a beer with him, 100%. Everybody wants to be Bert's friend. I think Maron is holding up a mirror again in the ways that Carlin did, and some of those others, really did, really shine on. And I think that right now, in particular, a lot of folks don't want to look at themselves in the mirror.
Yeah,
I think a lot of people actually would like what they see, and I think that Mark is not afraid to show them. And so I think that's probably why. I think it's just a sign of the times. I mean, even me, when I do my comedy, like I'm not here to shine a light on people. I'm here to just tell you dumb stories, right? Like,
right. So make people laugh, make people forget for a couple of minutes.
I'm not smart enough to do what Mark does. I admit that 100%. I am, as much as I love Mark and appreciate Mark, I am probably more in the Bert mold. Right.
Well, he's also been doing it for 50 years too. So
sure. Well, that's true. I got some time to kind of like figure out the rest of my act. Sure, I've only been doing it a year. But even Bert's been doing it for 20
he has been doing it a long time.
Years, 25 years, right?
But in that whole like Austin crowd, or really the people that followed Rogan to Austin, there are some that seem more self-aware than others. Like Shane Gillis, I think, is really good. And even though he's much more conservative than I am. Even Tim Dillon, who I disagree with completely politically, I think he's highly self-aware. And they also both piss on Austin. So.
No, which that's why Bert never left. Bert goes to Austin frequently to do all his buddies' shows, but Bert's still here in LA, at least last I heard.
He has a house there too. In Austin.
I mean, at this point, he does. Because obviously they do Two Bears, One Cave out there, and obviously he's got Tom's his best friend, and so and he's got the money now at this point to I mean, hey, if I had the money, I would have houses all over the place.
This is true. But Bert and Tom have gotten a little weird as they've gotten more successful, like calling the fans like plebeians and calling people. Even middle-class people, like Tom calls them, the poors, and I think they lost some fans because of that.
Sure, but I mean, look, sometimes there's also, that's the risk you run as a comedian. I think that sometimes you're trying to force the edge, right? Force the edginess a little bit. And I wonder if, because I don't listen to Tom or Bert nearly as much as I did during the pandemic. But that's also because I needed stuff to do during the pandemic. But and I think, and it's not even that I got tired of listening to him. It's just like I personally got busy, but like I'm sure that some, again,
I got tired of listening to them.
No, I mean that's fair. I mean that's perfectly fair.
But I will say they're on summer break and they let Stavi and Chris DiStefano take over the podcast, and I think that I'm like, this is the best it's been in years.
Well, I think Chris DiStefano and Stavi, I think they're both. I think they're just they're stars in their own right, and I think that this is great that Bert and Tom do give their platform to shine a light on other guys who probably deserve it, right? So, but I mean, look, it's nobody's perfect. Everybody's gonna have their own opinions. Everybody's gonna have their own ideas and thoughts. I just happen to lean more towards and agree with Mark's thoughts a lot more, at least lately, than I do with a lot of other guys.
Yeah, same here. Go watch his special on HBO. It's called Panicked. Big fan. Actually, his last two specials I thought were great. I didn't see his he has an Apple TV series with Owen Wilson about
I haven't watched
golf.
that.
I haven't watched it at all. But I want to watch it because of him. I thought he was fantastic in Glow. I was really bummed that was a casualty of the pandemic. I wish they got to finish that one up. But this was a nice precursor because I want to do an episode about comedy with Ray, about his comedy, his influences, that kind of thing. And hopefully that'll happen sometime in December.
Yeah.
For the next few weeks, Paul will be with me next week. We're going to talk about The Sandman Season 2. And then the following week, we're going to talk about Eyes of Wakanda, which I totally forgot came out because I didn't see an ad for it at all.
I have forgot it's out. I haven't watched Ironheart yet. I'm super busy. Although I did start Alien Earth last night.
I've heard good things. What do you think so far?
I like it.
Okay.
I like it. There's some, I feel that there's some, it's about as far as I'll go. Just,
okay.
Yeah. So,
because they lost me at Prometheus. I'm like, this is weird.
Yeah. I mean, they, Romulus, at least I feel like they got a lot of people back on board.
I've heard that too. I haven't watched Romulus yet, but I heard it is a big improvement.
Romulus feels like it's closer to like the original Alien than anything, anything else, I think. And I think Alien Earth it's going to be interesting. I feel like because it's a TV show, it's hard to judge it after only 2 episodes.
Right.
Because I feel like if they don't pay off the stuff they've set up in these first 2 episodes, I'm not going to have liked the show. And if they do, then I'll probably have liked the show a lot. So that's why I'm kind of like hedging my bets right now with this. I think there's some interesting shot choices and there's some interesting editing choices, which is just stylistic preferences. But I'm curious to see where they go with Alien Earth and what they're doing. And 7 more episodes left. So we'll see what happens.
Johan says Romulus was okay, but super predictable. Okay. I mean, that already sounds better than Prometheus to me. like this is just weird and not very good. So Zach Morris asks, are you going to see or have you seen Sketch? I do not know what Sketch is. I'm totally ignorant of this. But since you brought it up, Zach, I will look into it. Ray, do you know what Sketch is?
No clue.
Interesting. And finally, is it okay to laugh in theaters again? Only if you wear a mask. No. Yes. Yes, it is okay to laugh in theaters again.
Yes.
But yeah, I was definitely laughing. I enjoyed this. Yeah, this was the most socially interesting movie I've seen in a while. Yeah. I miss that community aspect of theater. Not so much that Minecraft shit that the kids are doing.
I mentioned this during the Fantastic Four episode where I had to turn around during the Fantastic Four episode. These little chicken shits were going like you're a chicken jockey. I'm like, shut the hell up. You're in the movies.
Yeah, really.
Shut up. I hated being that old man, but I feel like that's a rule where it's like I still think you could yell at kids for talking during the movies when it's not like a kids movie or just kids movie. I should say, like it's so
their parents should have taught them to shut the hell up.
Sorry, I hate to sound like the old man on the cloud, yelling at the cloud. But like,
hey, we're both becoming Marin. Check this out. Nice. So that'll put a bow on our review of The Naked Gun.
Yeah,
guys, go see it. Leave a comment after you've seen it or share more thoughts. And please join us next week where we're going to talk about The Sandman Season 2, which kicks off with an adaptation of one of my favorite comic book arcs ever, Sandman Seasons of Mist, which, love it. Can't wait to talk about it. But thanks for joining me. Go to Ray's Instagram, keep up with the stand-up, and we'll see you next time on RPadTV. Bye, guys.